Hi guys, it's Sherry. So today is day 3 of our alcohol ink tutorials. And today we are actually going to be making a turtle shell pendant. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is roll out your white Primo clay. And you don't need a lot of it. I'm going to actually just do a small little section because I'm only making one turtle shell. And this will give me plenty of clay that I need. What you're going to need is one of these texture stamps, and this is like a crackle look, and that's what I'm going for because this is going to give me my turtle shell impressions. So I want to find the section that I like the best. I really like that right there. So that's where I'm going to really focus on. And I'm just going to press down pretty hard. So I want to make sure I get a nice indentation for all the little lines. Okay. And that's what you will end up with. Okay. And I'm going to show you how deep I made that. So you can see there's nice indentations there. All right. Now I'm going to just get a piece of little saran wrap just to make sure I keep my table area somewhat clean. And then I am going to get my lime green, and then I'm going to want a little bit of blue. So I'm thinking emerald would look nice as well. Or maybe, let's see, let's do a grass green. So we'll see how those look together. So let's start out with the grass green. And all I'm going to do is just kind of dab these right in, right where the cracks are. I'm not worried about the top shell because that will be coming off. All right, so now I'm going to let that set to dry for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll come back. So our piece has been drying for about 10-15 minutes now, and you can see most of it is completely dry. So I am just going to get a little piece of plain paper, and do not smear it, just kind of rub it to get all that extra ink that might be laying there. Okay, I'm going to put that off to the side for a moment, and then I'm going to take this, I'm going to get my paper, and one more time, let's make sure all my ink, I just want to make sure my paper isn't moving. All right, so now my next step is to get my blade, and I am just going to carefully take off some of this top here because I don't want too much of this top. I'm not going too far down. Like I said before, I just want to get most of the top off and kind of make it nice and clean. Okay, so now I'm going to get my paper one more time, and I am going to try to burnish this the best that I can. And now I want to do this side a little bit better because that's not, for some reason, that's not blending as nicely. Okay, So I want to find the spot that I like the best. I really think, I want to pull this up a little bit more so I can see it a little bit better. I really like the look of that section. So now I'm going to take my white clay again, and I'm just going to run this through my pasta machine quickly. Okay, and I put this on my middle section of my pasta machine. And I'm just going to lay this on here, and I'm going to cut around this. And now let's find our little section. I like how this is kind of rough a little bit. Makes it look more natural. Go with that. And then we have enough that I'm going to do one more. So there's one of our turtle shells, and here is a second one. Okay, so now that we have our turtle shells done, we will make our little turtle head. And I'm not too worried about my clay being perfectly clean because we are going to paint up this little guy. So I am going to initially make like a teardrop, okay? And I want to take my fingers and pinch to make the head. Okay. And that's how that will lay on there. So the first thing we want to do is just get our little pointer, and we are going to make two little noses, or little nose holes, I should say. So we have our little nose hole. And then we'll take our blade and we'll just go right down. And we have the mouth. I'm just smoothing out. I want to make the little neck area a little thinner on the sides. Okay. And I'll take this and taper down. There we go. We'll make that. Okay, so now I just want to kind of push. Where are you? Just gonna push right down in the middle. Kind of make a little indent for the neck area to go into. And there, that fits nicely there. Okay, so now I'm going to get my black clay. And I want to make two tiny little circles. I want them a little bit smaller than that. So I'm going to take that and I will cut that in half. So they're both the same size. I'm going to take my little tool and then I am going to just take this and press his eye in there. Okay. We will make a tail. And to do a tail, all you do is roll it into a little cone like that, okay? And then I'm going to once again take this and I'm going to taper it down. And then I'm just going to take, oops, my tool. I'm going to press down for it to have an area to taper into nicely. Okay. And then we are going to take the tail and curl it up. Because if it is not curled up, it will end up breaking. Now, put him off to there, and we are going to do the little flippers. To do the flippers, all I am doing is going to roll out like a noodle almost, but keep it nice and fat. And I want one side to be skinnier. So kind of like that is how you're going to roll it out. And then we are just going to flatten it out. And then I'm just taking my thumb and I'm kind of going down to flatten it completely. And then I'm going to take this and go down on an angle, okay? And then you will end up with a flipper just like that. So I need to make sure this isn't going to be too big. Oops. This would be for this side, sorry. I'm going to go a little bit smaller maybe. No, maybe not. All right, we'll just see how that ends up looking when they're both together. When I have two that I want to be the same, I usually start it out and then I'm going to put this one right on top so I know how to make it flow and make sure that they are the right size. And then I'm just going to go down and then lift them up and see if they're close to the same size, which they are. Do I keep putting that on the opposite way? Or do I want to try it on the top? Back, we are going to cut this right in half. I just want to take a quick look. we will make our little indentations. And then we're just going to bend these into the right position. All right, so lastly, I'm going to use this as my bottom. And I'm just blending these together. And get my little tool. I'm just kind of put this down a little bit. Basically, all I'm doing is readjusting my piece here to make it look like it fits properly onto this little turtle. All right, so now I want to kind of push this up a bit to make my turtle a little fatter looking. And I don't mind the little cracks. I think that'll give it some more character. And now my last thing I'm going to do is just kind of give my little turtle some texture here. I like my fingernail imprints better. Kind of gives it a little bit more wrinkle look. All I'm doing is just adding some detail into here. Let me redo his little nose. And that's our little turtle. He'll look much better when he's complete. Okay, so now I'm going to place him into the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then when he is complete, we'll come back and we will paint him up and finish him completely. All right, guys, so my turtle is completely baked and cooled down, and I ended up sanding down the top of him, and I think that looks pretty cool. I do have some cracks, which I'm okay with. And I sanded down his bottom as well. So our next step is to paint him. So I got 3 different greens to kind of see what is going to work best. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is the sides. And I'm just kind of doing a rough paint job initially. I don't want to get the top. When you do the tail, be very careful because you don't want to get the top of the shell. We want to keep that part white. I want to kind of go with a albino shell kind of thing, even though that's not a thing. I don't believe, but I just think it would look really cool keeping it white. I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't color the shell. And I should leave that white. I just think it'll look better if I keep it white. So I'm going to clean that up then. I'm going to go over the arms a couple more times. Okay, so I just put a little bit of rubbing alcohol in this cup. I'm just going to get my paintbrush. And then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to kind of clean up this area that I painted on. This alcohol should take off all your unwanted paint. For little areas that are stuck like in sharp or tight places like this, just get another dry brush and dry it that way if you can't get your towel or something in there. So I'm pretty happy with that. And then I'm going to put that off to the side. Just going to do a few little more touch-ups. We'll let that dry for a few minutes. This dries fairly quick, so it won't even be a few minutes. I'm seeing another little area I'm missing here. I'm going to get my black, and I just need a very tiny bit. Oh, that is way too much. And I just want to dab, and you see I have a tiny bristle brush here, and it's a pretty stiff one. And I am just going to go in and kind of highlight different areas. And I don't mind the green coming off because you'll see what I'm going to do next. I just want this black in my creases that I made. And turtles are never clean. So we want to make sure that our turtle has a little dirty look to it. I'm just going to go over his eyes again. Just get your edges. I like to use my hands or my fingers for a lot of my paint if I can. I just feel like I have more control over it that way. And all I'm doing here is kind of like just highlighting the legs, giving them that kind of like dirty shadow look. All right, rinse that out. And now I'm going to carefully take my light green and just kind of, I'm going to dab over certain areas that may have gotten a little white. You see how it's given that shadow and the different green colors? That's exactly what I want. And the reason I'm dabbing is because I don't want to lose all that black. If you rub over it, you're just going to fill in all that black that you just did. So just tap in the different areas. All right, I'm going to stop there before I do too much. And I am very pleased with his color. I think his color looks fantastic. So I'm going to let him dry for a few minutes, and I'm going to go wash my hands, and then we will complete him. Alrighty, so my turtle is nice and dry, and his bottom is a little still kind of dirty. So I'm going to take my sander and I'm just going to sand that up real quick. Alrighty, so that's much better. I'm happier with that. So what I'm going to do with the top is I'm actually going to put my resin on the top, and I want to kind of give it a little bit of a dome look. Plus this will seal up all the cracks that I got I'm just gonna go over, get right to the edge. I'm not putting this on too thick right now because I don't want it leaking over and making a huge mess. Okay, so let's see, I got a little bit leaking over. I'm going to kind of make sure I don't get that drippy look. I could fix it. Let me get my paintbrush. And I'm just going to kind of, oh, this one got glitter on it. I don't want that one. Give me this one. I just want to kind of clean up any edges, because I know it's going to drip over, but I don't want it to drip to the point that it makes a big glob. That's what I don't want. So I'm just going to wipe up the sides. Okay. Get my lighter. Make sure all my bubbles are out. All right, I'm going to put this under my UV light for a few minutes. Okay, so this is partially cured. It's not 100% cured, but I want to do the rest with my brush so it could all cure together. So I am going to get my little silicone piece here, and I'm going to squirt my resin on that. And then I'm just going to take my brush and carefully just brush the green, okay? Do not, if yours is not 100% cured, like mine is not, do not touch the top. I just want it to all cure at the same time. And I'm just brushing this on because I don't want this thick. I just wanted the top part to be thick. Next, we're going to do the back. And we're just going to brush on. Let me get my pad. So here is our piece. And I think he is adorable. I really think he came out cute. So our last step is we're going to get our little screwdriver and we are going to drill a hole right in the middle. And I don't want to go too deep. And I kind of get an idea how deep I went. I'm going to cut this. Let me make sure that this fits in properly. There we go. And now I'm going to get my super glue. And let me pick this up with my pliers. I can stick it right in properly. And put that in there. Let that completely dry. Should only take a matter of a few seconds. And I have a leather rope that all I did was I cut it to the size that I want it. And then I have these end pieces, and then what I like, and I just super glued them right in. What I like about these is they're magnetic, so you just kind of pop them in and they lock right into place, and you don't have to worry about anything. All right, so lastly, let's put our jump ring on. I'm going to put the chain on right away. And then I am going to close this. So I'm going to probably go with a smaller jump ring. This jump ring's pretty big. Let me go with the smaller jump ring. Let's see. There we go. So I'm going to put, this is a spring jump ring, okay? So I'm going to use that because it's like the perfect size. So in order to use that, I need to open up this guy. So I am just going to take this, and then I'm going to reclose. And there is our beautiful turtle necklace. I think he is going to be a fun little summer necklace piece. I think he's adorable. I hope you guys enjoyed creating this piece along with me. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.